She walked onto the scorching desert training ground with nothing but a clipboard, a steady heartbeat, and a butterfly tattoo. The recruits never stopped mocking her, yet within minutes, that same tattoo would force the entire platoon into stunned silence when the SEAL commander himself snapped into a salute. Which part of the country are you watching from? Leave a comment. The morning sun beat down on the dusty forward operating base as the recruits gathered in loose formation, grinning at each other as they whispered behind the young woman approaching them. Petty Officer Olivia Lanny, barely 28, walked with the calm confidence of someone who had nothing to prove, yet she knew the laughs were coming. They always did. The butterfly tattoo on her arm, small and delicate, seemed to offend the testosterone-soaked bravado of every new batch of recruits who believed toughness could only be displayed through scowls and scars. Today was no different. As she reached the training line, a couple of the younger soldiers tried to hide their smirks, elbowing each other like schoolboys. "Look," one whispered loudly enough for everyone to hear, "she's got a butterfly." "Real scary," another snorted. "Maybe she's here to teach us arts and crafts." Olivia didn't flinch. She simply lifted her clipboard and began calling names. Her voice was firm, crisp, and trained, each syllable hitting with an authority the recruits didn't expect from someone they had already written off as soft. But their laughter persisted in small, irritating waves. A few rolled their eyes, others exchanged knowing grins. No one imagined that the woman standing before them had seen more classified operations than any of them would in their first decade of service. Behind her calm stare, she remembered all the times people underestimated her. First in boot camp, then in advanced tactical training, then in intel school, where most assumed she'd quit by week 2. But she never did. And that butterfly, that wasn't decoration. It was a mark of survival, inked after a night she almost didn't live through, a something no one here knew, and she had no intention of explaining. The wind kicked up dust as the recruits began their warm-ups. Olivia monitored them, jotting notes with quick precision. A few of the men exaggerated their movements, showing off, hoping to impress or irritate. Here she couldn't tell, and didn't care. She was trained to evaluate performance, not ego. But then everything shifted. A small convoy of the vehicles rumbled toward the field. The recruits paused, the dust settled, and stepping out of the first Humvee was a figure every soldier recognized instantly: the base's SEAL commander, Captain Jordan Hale. Decorated, respected, feared, a man whose presence snapped even the most arrogant recruit into attention. He walked toward the training field with sharp, deliberate steps, his eyes scanning the area. The recruits straightened instinctively, assuming he was here to evaluate them. Olivia didn't move. She kept writing, oblivious to the sudden tension tightening everyone's shoulders. Then it happened. The commander's eyes landed on Olivia's arm, the tattoo specifically. His expression didn't twist into a smirk like the recruits'. Instead, something shifted in his gaze, something the soldiers couldn't read. And without hesitating, without a second thought, Captain Hale stopped directly in front of her and snapped into a crisp, commanding salute. The entire formation froze. Olivia lifted her eyes from the clipboard, surprised but composed, returning the salute with professional precision. The recruits looked at each other in disbelief, jaws dropping. The same woman they had spent the morning mocking was being saluted by one of the most elite warriors in the American military. The silence grew heavy until one soldier finally whispered, "What a broken bar. What does that tattoo mean?" Hale turned slightly, his voice firm but carrying the weight of memory. "That tattoo," he said, "belongs to a survivor of Operation Monarch, the most dangerous extraction mission we ever ran. Only 3 people made it out alive. She was the youngest intel officer on that mission and kept her team alive after their comms went dark. I wouldn't be standing here if she hadn't completed her part flawlessly." The recruits stared at Olivia with stunned eyes, and no longer mocking, now filled with awe and a growing sense of shame. The desert wind seemed to pause as the truth settled in. The woman they laughed at was a quiet legend. Olivia remained humble, her voice steady. "Let's get back to training," she said, as if nothing extraordinary had just occurred. But everyone saw her differently now. They pushed harder, listened closer, stood straighter. Respect had replaced arrogance, admiration replacing ignorance. As the commander walked away, he glanced back with a rare smile. "Carry on, petty officer," he said. And with that, The myth of the butterfly tattoo became something far greater, something the recruits would never forget, and neither will the audience. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful military stories like this one.